There are two huge mistakes when it comes to buying, flipping, remodeling, rehabbing, renovating a piece of property, right? One of which is to always think of resale. If you don't think of resale, you're going to lose a lot of money every single time. The other is getting too emotionally attached to the property. The last thing you want to do is get emotionally connected and attached to the property. Listen, improvements that you make to the property can get astronomically expensive. And you have to know that every single dollar that you put into a house, it's going to make you a minimum of $1 back. And that's really if you're only going to live in the house. If you're going to resell that house, you want to make $2 to $10 on every dollar that you spend. Let's take a look. Now, before I show you this house, I want to make it clear. When it comes to remodeling, rehabbing, upgrading, remodeling your personal home, you can get crazy expensive. And I always tell people, you have to know that you can't go overboard. I've seen it time and time again over the years. My name is Wayne Turner. I've been in this real estate business, done just about everything when it comes to real estate for 30 years. And I just like sharing my experience with people like yourself. If you're thinking about buying, remodeling, flipping, getting into real estate, just making some simple home improvements on your home, I want to walk you through this house. And I'm going to share with you what to do and what not to do when it comes to those home improvements. For the sake of this property, this is a home that was taken down to just the sheetrock. Some walls were open, and as you can see, everything has been completely new and renovated. This is a house in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a ranch style house. Everything you see here is going to be new. Let's take a look. Now, when it comes to remodeling, rehabbing a house, one of the things you'll want to really consider that you typically will get back for the most part on resale is windows, new windows in a house. This home has all new windows. And for the love of me, I don't know why they put such cheap windows in a house. It drives me a little crazy. So the windows in this house have been completely upgraded. So that's a double pane window. So there's two pieces of glass. Sometimes you'll see a window that's fogged. You don't have to replace the entire window. It just replaces that glass. However, if you're going to replace one or two, don't just piece it in. You'll want to make sure you replace all of the windows. And so listen, I know that people like the pretty stuff and you like the flooring and the paint, but it's okay to get kind of crazy with the paint. If you want to go blue or green or yellow or whatever it may be, it's your home if you're going to live in it. But you just have to know when it comes to reselling a house, you have to think neutral colors. We used to call it relocation beige, you know, but beige is kind of out. Now you can see everything's white in this house. So that's kind of the base color. Big open floor plan. This was a wall that was right here and that wall was taken out. There was another wall that was over here and that wall was taken out. And if you're going to be removing any walls, there's nothing wrong with that to open up a room, but you have to make sure that you don't have any load-bearing walls. And the best way to figure that out is to just have a structural engineer look at it for you, someone that really knows construction, a licensed contractor, where they can absolutely share with you and show you how that is or is not a load-bearing wall. Because if it is, you're going to have to do a big beam. You see that right there? That's a beam. So in order to open that up, you have to have that ceiling has to be supported. Now, big kitchens, people love a big kitchen, a big open kitchen, and you can get absolutely crazy when it comes with appliances and Viking and all that stuff. But it really depends on the price point if you're flipping it for resale and how much you cook and how much you're truly going to enjoy. This house was a complete flip, remodel. We've got Frigidaire appliances that are good baseline, gas cooktop, built-in microwave, solid surface countertops. If you're going to do any kind of remodeling, you'll want to make sure that you absolutely, unequivocally always do solid surface countertops. Now, another feature that you'll notice on this house, it has lots of recessed lights. They call those can lights because it basically looks like this huge big can in the ceiling that you can't see. But the recessed lighting, open door frames. This house was built about 45 years ago, so everything was upgraded in this home. So it's got the 4 or 5 inch baseboards, crown mold throughout. Once again, walls were taken out. And one of the worst things you can do, as I always say, is get too emotionally attached to the property. And what I mean by that is you can't look at it as though it's going to be your taste and you're going to be the one living in it. You have to look at it through a design point, a decorator's point, if you will. I always tell people, worst case scenario, go to the website Houzz. I think it's spelled H-O-U-Z-Z. Go to there, just look around, look at pictures, look at images, and see what's out there. And ask decorators, ask designers. You know, when in doubt, just keep everything neutral to the property. But some of the things you can do, which is great for resale, is when you take an area like this, where it was just open, and you add cabinets. So you can see that's a cabinet right there that's been added. That originally was not there when the home was built. So you have the back door, you have windows, you have huge laundry room as you come in, and they did this little nook. So kids, people, drop off book bags, kick off your shoes, that sort of thing. You don't drag into the house. Got a full bath here in this house, right off the back door, which is great. And you just have to know, when you make improvements to a property like adding a swimming pool, you're never going to get all that money back. The typical swimming pool right now runs you about $80,000, and you just have to know that you purchase a pool, you enjoy the pool. And if you turn around and sell that house 3 to 4 years after you install a swimming pool, you're going to get about half of that money back. Now, some of the worst mistakes that you can make when remodeling, flipping, improving your home is going really, really cheap. I tell people don't get emotionally attached. So you don't want to get crazy with fixtures and faucets and lighting and flooring. You want to keep it a good neutral color, but you also don't want to go so cheap that no one likes it or you just hate it while you live in the property. Like, for example, this is a good baseline. In this house, this home was built in the 40s. And what was done here is this was a cast iron tub, for example. That cast iron tub had tile. And that tile, oftentimes you'll see it, it's blue, it's green, it's yellow. All of that was busted out. The tub was taken out. What they could have done is they could have put another solid surface tub in here and tiled all that. But for resale purposes, that's fine just the way it is at this price point on this house. That's a fiberglass insert. And as you can see, it's in great condition. It's brand new. It's more than up to par for this home, this neighborhood, this area. And it works every time. Now let me share a couple of things with you that's so important. If you're going to remodel a kitchen, if you're going to replace cabinets, you can do little things like slow close drawers. You can do little things like, you know, dovetail, tuck pointed cabinets, like that right there. See that? That's a very good cabinet, very well made cabinet. It's all real wood. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can get away with MDF and other manufactured style cabinets. Some people frown at that, but the average consumer, to them, it's a cabinet and it works great and it looks great and it's very functional. The other thing you'll always want to do is big basin sinks. I always tell people this: do an arched faucet, do a big basin sink. If you're ever scrubbing any kind of pot or doing anything like that, you absolutely love that. When in doubt, go with gas if you can. If you can, put in a built-in microwave. That's always a plus. Now, here's a feature that I always like and I always love doing on properties is this cabinet. And the cabinet, the way it actually is encased, if you will. So when the refrigerator will actually slide in. Now, a good rule of thumb, this cabinet is a little bit different than a lot of other cabinets. A lot of these cabinets, the refrigerator is going to stick out really far. So what was done here is this cabinet actually sticks out a little bit further than the countertop. This countertop typically is just about 24 to 26 inches at the most with that overhang. And refrigerators will be deeper than that. Now, if you really want to get a good flush, you can get what they call a countertop depth refrigerator for that. But in this case, if you want to put a standard size refrigerator there, you could. It would stick out just a little bit and you would absolutely never notice it. Now, as they say, the devil's in the details. So it's doing the little things like this that are quite inexpensive. You'll want to have a licensed electrician to do this, but you can put a receptacle on the wall. You can actually put your coaxial here so you can easily have cable and everything works. It's very inexpensive to have this done. The average electrician, for $300, they'll have that mounted for you. Oftentimes, if you purchase the TV mount, they will mount the TV for you for an extra charge. And that way, all you have to do is physically put the TV in. Some electricians, they'll say, "Where's your TV?" They'll do it all for you. It's just a matter of a fee. But it's the little things like that that really add up. Let's take a look in the main bedroom. So as I'd mentioned, you know, you always want to do, I mean, that's a Hunter ceiling fan. You don't have to do Hunter ceiling fans. You can do a little bit less than that. You can go crazy with that. But you don't want to do such costly things. You know, you just have to look at, okay, what's my home worth? And what's the houses in the area worth? And can I live with a Hunter fan, or can I get away with a Harbor Breeze fan? You know, it's like different manufacturers and different price ranges. Now what they did here was completely tile and redo the entire tub. There was a tub in here, they took it all out and they just put in a stand-up shower. It's okay to do this, but I caution you, please make sure you have at least one bathtub in your house. It doesn't matter if you don't bathe at all, you have to always look at resale. You never know when somebody's going to purchase your house. Down the road, you're going to sell it. And if there's no tub and the person looking to purchase your property has small children and they need a tub to bathe their children, that makes your house hard to fit in their lifestyle, and you're eliminating buyers. Never want to do that. So let's take a look outside. I'll show you some improvements to make, and most importantly, what not to make. Now, what so often people are doing is they're taking an older house and they're repurposing that brick by simply putting a nice coat of paint, neutral color. If you're going to do a roof, you want to do dimensional shingles. Do not put a roof that's not dimensional shingles on the house. It just hurts you for resale. Most people are doing dimensional shingles. If you don't do dimensional shingles, it just has a cheaper look to the house. It also gives the house height and it gives it depth. If you're going to paint the outside of your house, you want to go with some neutral colors. You never want more than 3 colors on the outside of your house. Maybe the front door and the shutters, maybe the garage door. Maybe your gutters are a little bit different than the doors and the actual house itself. You want to stay with 3 colors minimum when it comes to making those improvements on the exterior of your house. And listen, if you're going to put gutters on your house, do not cheap and chintz on gutters. I don't care where you live or who you are, you want to put 6-inch gutters. Just put big gutters on a house. Even if it's a smaller size house, trust me, water comes down at the same speed on a smaller house than it does on a lot of larger homes. So you'll want to always put big gutters on a house. When it comes to remodeling, rehabbing, flipping a property, making an improvement to your own personal home, 2 of the most expensive things it's going to cost you, and listen, you do not get your money back on these items. The home was built with central heat and air, you're just replacing the central heat and air. The home was built with a roof, you're replacing the roof. So if you spend $5,000, $7,000 on that, that doesn't mean you just get to add that back to the price of the house the same way with a roof. So always go mid-grade. You can go crazy expensive when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's central heat and air units. And the roof, always do, like I've always mentioned, do dimensional shingles. You always want to do dimensional shingles. And you just have to know that those improvements that you make to the property, they're going to help with the resale. They're going to help sell the house faster. The cleanest, nicest home that's priced well within the market is always going to be the next one to sell. But you can't get so emotionally involved in the transaction, in the house, that you lose money. So look, when it comes to remodeling, rehabbing, flipping a property, making home improvements to your own property, 2 things, as I mentioned, and I always tell people, don't get too emotionally attached and connected to the property, and always think of resale. You cannot make improvements to a property and not think of resale. You may take out all the bathtubs, the next buyer wants a bathtub, makes it harder to sell. You may like purple countertops or blue cabinets or whatever it may be. That's all beautiful for yours, but you have to know that that's for you. Even though it's your property, just know that it can come back to bite you when it comes time to resale. I'm Wayne Turner. Thank you for watching. Be sure and leave us a comment. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to our channel. There's much more to come.